What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the brother, Robert Mason, coming through once again with a donation to the channel via the PayPal. And you remember, might have been last week, Magic Johnson came out with a top 5 all-time Lakers list. And I think his top 5 Lakers were Kareem, Shaq, Wilt, Kobe, and Jerry West. And you said all of these, Clutch affiliated, La Media, beat writers complaining that he left LeBron James out of the top 5. But yet, ironically, they didn't seem to indicate or notice that he left himself out of the top 5, Magic. And who do you think is more deserving of top 5 status? These guys, all they do is suck LeBron James' dick all day, every day. It's ridiculous. But then again, they're getting paid to do it. So, anyway, Magic did say as a qualifier that there are 15 to 20 other Lakers who deserve some mention. I wouldn't say 20. But that kind of tells me in my head that he kind of has LeBron as a top 20 Laker, which I think that's debatable if you're talking about team success. Stats, yeah. Stat padding, absolutely. Actual winning, no. But I know a team that I believe is pretty much unbeatable. I know a team that is pretty much unbeatable if it was put together with all of the players in their primes and they're playing in a way that their games complement one another. And that is an all-Warrior squad, in my opinion. If you had a starting lineup of Wilt Chamberlain at center, Nate Thurmond at power forward, Rick Barry at small forward, Klay Thompson at shooting guard in his prime before the injuries, playing two-way basketball, and Steph Curry, the 2016 version of Steph Curry. I'm not finished. The bench being Draymond Green at center in his prime, Kevin Durant at power forward in his prime, the Warriors years, Chris Mullin in his prime, the early 90s, Mitch Richmond in his prime, and Baron Davis as a backup point guard. I don't think that team would lose. I think that team is pretty much unbeatable. This version of Wilt primarily is a rebounder, playmaker, shot blocker, rim protector, but retains the athleticism of his prime. And we know how great he was as a Laker, even with the leg injury, even with being heavier, still putting up, capable averaging 14 points, 25 rebounds, 23 rebounds, probably was averaging 6 blocks a game. Now, put him in his 25-year-old body, but playing like Bill Russell. He's going to out-Russell all the way. He's going to average 18 points. Now that he can focus more on rebounding and defense, he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to lead the league in blocks, probably averaging around 8 or 9 blocks a night. He's going to average 27 rebounds a night. He's going to be a fucking beast, right? Nate Thurmond, well, one weakness, I guess you could say, is that Nate's going to be forced to be more of a little bit more of a jump shooter. But when I say jump shooter, I mean more around, 12, 13, 14 feet. But they're going to rock the boards. Nate Thurmond and Wilt Chamberlain are going to dominate the rebounds. Nate's going to give you probably 18 points and 18 rebounds a night. Now, there's only enough basketball for everybody, but the main scorers are going to be Rick Barry, Thompson, and Curry, and they're going to average over 20 points a game each. Then you're going to have Kevin Durant, Mullen. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. They're not going to be stopped. And when I look at it, there's really nobody in the starting lineup that's a poor passer. Clay's the only guy that's not really a great passer. But it doesn't matter because his game's not predicated on that, and he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands as much. He's one of the great, if not the greatest catch-and-shoot player in the history of the game in his prime. So that's not going to matter. So Curry or Rick Barry are going to have the ball. As far as in the starting lineup, they're going to have the ball more. Wilt's going to get the ball, but it's not going to be a black hole if Wilt don't see a good matchup, or if he sees a better scoring opportunity for one of his brethren, he's going to pass it out. He's a great passer. Draymond Green's a very good passer. Kevin Durant's an improved passer. Chris Mullin's a good passer. Mitch Richmond, if I recall correctly, was a pretty good passer. Brad Davis was a very good passer, if not great passer. Yeah. I don't see this team losing. Wilt, Thurmond, great defenders. I mean, defensive player of the year level. Klay Thompson, in his prime, was a very good defender. Steph Curry, not a great defender, but he was great at getting steals. Rick Barry was an improved defender in his prime, great at getting steals. Draymond Green, great at getting steals, great defender. Kevin Durant, wasn't necessarily a great defender, but got steals. Chris Mullin, underrated defender, although a bit slow, but was great at getting steals. Mitch Richmond, same thing. Baron Davis, great at getting steals. This team ain't gonna lose. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think.